And we're live. Oh, I'm scruffy and I can see myself. Share your screen with your audience. Click this button to... Where did that go? Click this button to... Where did the text go? I don't know where the text went. There was new magic stuff, but I'm not going to click. I'm not brave enough. I'm using my screen. Hello.
Hello.
All three of us are here online. I've got...
Who's the other person?
Lemmy.
Oh.
She's right here. She's right here. And Crimson is just getting...
Solo Star is in the room. Hello. Hi. Oh, Kev. Oh, Kev, Richard Tucker. Kev is here. The last Imperial. Hello there. I'm going to do just lots of kisses for everybody. There you go. Kisses, kisses, kisses.
And Mr. Mark James is on the line.
Mr. Mark James is here now. Yes. I was just a little bit slow then. Was just catching up.
Yaha. Lemmy needs to settle. She's oh, she wants her tummy scratching. Okay.
That's Lemmy, not me, just so you know.
Lemmy needs to settle, yes. I got a lot of nicknames for you, but one of them's not Lemmy. It would be confusing.
This is true. And none of them are you can sort of say on here anyway.
Rat killer?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, during COVID, we played quite a lot of Vermintide online, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
The most psychotic elf I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so...
Oh, little Kev. You're right, Kev.
No, he's half left.
Oh,
boom, boom!
Oh, how do you say that? That's...
Bojack, I reckon. Bojack.
Bojack.
Hello.
Bojack.
So, yes.
Oh, good, Kev, I'm glad you're okay.
It's been a little while, pre-Christmas, wasn't it?
It's been a long time. It has been a little while. Yeah. You are correct, young Jedi.
It's that thing called life that is being
crazy.
Called life, yeah. It's being awkward, super awkward. What do I do now then?
Well, tell them about your week. That's what you do.
So I talk about the hobby stuff. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so what have I been doing in Hobbyland recently? Is this on enough? Sorry, I'm having a problem with lighting.
Don't put it on any lighter. Your food's down your front. I think the last live stream was able to attend was 2 years ago. What? Crikey.
1 minute.
Well, welcome back.
I'm just trying to make my face brighter. It doesn't seem as bright to me.
We demand to know your favourite Primarch. Why is it? There you go, your first question.
My favourite Primarch, they all have some significant appeal. And I refuse to choose a favourite because they all have some significant appeal. They've all got things I like about them and things I dislike about them.
You're going out of sync and you're worrying me now. Because we
you shouted those your first question.
I know, but I didn't mean for you to answer it. I've gone all like...
That's what I thought you meant.
I've gone all like, oh, now what we doing?
All right, write it down and then ask me it later.
Members chat. Woo, alert, alert, alert.
Bojack, member for 24 months, says tee. Yes, you have sown chaos and mayhem. And I don't know why that light's not bright enough because you can hardly see my face at all.
Well, some would say Not me, obviously.
Is it like not plugged in or something? It's not plugged in. That's why. Found the reason.
Gosh.
Found the reason.
Oh dear.
Had to move the computer a little while ago to do an online roleplay session, and clearly it didn't get plugged back in. Right, now, can we make it do the being brighter thing, please? No, maybe we can't. I don't know.
I'd just leave it alone.
Hopefully it'll get better. You might just have to make do with a dingy Paul. No.
We can count the hair on your arms. It'd take too long. Hooray.
1, 2, 3.
Tell them about
4.
your week.
Okay. Well, it's not just my week.
Well, no.
And it's not just my week, and it's not just mine. It's yours as well.
Oh, yes.
I have been hobby-wise. What have I been doing? Well, I had a bunch of heresy to get prepped for a big game with a certain Mr. Winters. I say a big game. It was a 3,000 point game, which is part of the course on the YouTubes for heresy. But got to the 3K mark, and we wrote the game, filled the game, and played the game. No, that doesn't work. It's not a theme tune. Anyway, so I had to get a bunch of units ready, a couple of tanks and some more troops and all the things. So did that, had that, played that, and that goes up on the YouTube in not a very long time. I'm trying to think. What have I just released? That was a hobby video. It might be next Monday's. It might be next Monday's to go up. That particular one. We've got a run of 3 heresy videos before we are back to AOS for a little while. Also, I am painting away at my Bretonians. I've nearly finished my first unit of Men at Arms, which should be finished this week. Excuse me. Then I've got a few more units to paint for the coming Age of Sigmar stuff. Filming the next sort of 8 weeks, over the course of the next 8 weeks ish. Filming the next chapter of the Siege of Excelsis. Filmed one of the episodes Saturday with Clash from Clash of Dice, which was immense fun. I'm going to drop some pictures from that at some point because they all turned out fantastically. Normally, pictures of games can be a bit iffy. But no, they look great. So I need to drop those somewhere at some point. Don't know where, don't know when. But I know I'll drop those pictures again some sunny day. My mind appears to be diverging more than normal. So surprise! Been building. I guess other stuff. I've been building a bunch of old world. I've got Bretonians built up to about 1250 points. Should have them up to about 1500 points soon. Then I am probably either then going to build possibly a few more Bretonians, or I might come back to some more heresy stuff for a couple of units. But then I've got a lot I need to do for the 4th chapter of Siege of Excelsis. I've got to paint like 3 armies. And I might do that over the course of a year. I might do the next chapter because I'm not going to hit. I don't think there's no way I'm going to get all done before 4th Ed drops. I assume 4th Ed is coming this summer because that's the pattern. Building. Been building Bretonians. Painted a couple of Bretonians. Painted a whole bunch of. Painted a whole bunch of Ultramarines. And I've started doing some hobby videos again, which is something I've not really done very much of for quite a long time. 2023, I don't think I released a single hobby video because I make no secret about my mental health issues. I just wasn't up to it, but I've really started enjoying them. And I've got a couple more Heresy ones to come out. I think one or two more. Then I've got I'm halfway through the one on my Bretonnian Men at Arms, and my plan, although it is subject to change as my brain whims it, one of the models I have to paint for the next AOS campaign section is a Kraken Eater Mega Gargant. So I was thinking of doing a video on painting that. So that's what I've been doing recently for hobby stuff. How's members chat? Okay. Kevin Catfile, member for 39 months.
39 months. Go on, Kev.
Hi, Paul. Hi, Crimson. Hope life is good.
Yes, it's different, but it's okay. Lots happening, but we're okay, aren't we? Yeah. Keep plodding on. But yes, we're all right. Thanks, Kev.
Do you know what I saw when I came upstairs to do the thing to make this happen?
Yeah.
Like half an hour ago when I logged onto YouTube.
Yes.
Do you know what I saw?
What?
I didn't tell you because I forgot about it when I got downstairs, but I've just remembered about it now.
Go on then.
It flashed up to say the channel has just hit 1 million views. In the 3.5 years it's been going. 1 million views. Still no Coke sponsorship.
Blue Demon's here.
So one Mr. Mooga. What a Mega Gargant. A Kraken Eater Mega Gargant. Basically an old Gargant what lives in the sea and what eats Krakens. Yes. Yeah. So that is, that's all that. And so Crimson will be taking down all of your questions and stuff and then throwing them at me as I start to lose my command of both the English language and my brain, possibly simultaneously.
I'm just going to read that one. Do you want to just read that one out so I don't have to write it down? So,
which
hi,
one?
Paul. Long time since I've been able to tune in. Hope you're well. Have any interest in 40k these days? Can you see that one?
Yes, I can. From Adrian Smart. Hi, Paul. Long time since I've been able to tune in. I hope you're well. Have any interest in 40k these days? I still revisit We Have Come For You as the gold standard for narrative 40k. I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm really glad you enjoy it. It would be inaccurate to say I am sworn off 40k and I'm never going to play it again. If there were no other games that I was enjoying at the moment or not enjoying very much or whatever, I would certainly be playing 40k. And I would be doing my very best to play narrative games with a competitive rule set that is only getting more competitive and less narrative as time goes on. And I absolutely could play some 40k. I could make some lists that work. I could try and hunt them out and find them out, but that's quite a bit of effort that I had to go to do that. And when I am absolutely loving some other games and I do not need to put anything like the effort in to enjoy them, I just need to pick up dice and play them, and I am enjoying myself. I don't have to work out how to work around all of the things that have been baked into the rule set that I don't like. It's a no-brainer for me. I can enjoy the things that I am enjoying, and I don't need to force myself into the 40k mold. the current 40k. If I were doing this professionally full time, yeah, of course I would be putting out 40k content because it'd be my job, and I would still enjoy it. I will enjoy playing 40k on the occasions that I do, but with the limited time that I have with, full-time job and real life being really, really full on at the moment, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to spend my time doing things that have really engaged my enthusiasm, and not every time I look at something go, oh, if only, I want to do this, I want to do that, listen to a great book, and then I go, oh, I can't, because it doesn't work like that anymore. And I'd have to do house rules, and I'd have to change this and change that and change the other, and that's why I don't. That's why I don't, because I'm enjoying the other games pretty much as they are, with very little effort.
Couple of statements, not questions as such. Softball says, glad to see that you're getting into Horus Heresy. Yeah. And Last Imperial does ask, when you were talking about Winters, did you beat him? Which is the question.
I absolutely refuse to spoil the outcome of the game.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
If
Gotta watch it.
If people want to know,
I nearly answered him. I'm glad I didn't. Now, I'd have been in trouble.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I nearly answered him.
Yeah, you totally would. No. What was I saying?
We were just talking about did you beat Winters, but obviously you've got to watch it, haven't you? And you can say this, but I can't. Is it Bojack, I think. Bojack. Okay. Did you get any old world fantasy games done?
No, I haven't played any old world fantasy games yet, because I want to say 2006, I made a New Year's resolution to never play a game with an unpainted model, which I have kept. I have not since played a game with an unpainted model. Therefore, I cannot play Old World until I have a painted Old World army. And I don't want to play any of the forces that have just gone straight to PDF. I'm not going to expend the time to convert those onto the right bases. So I have my the Empire units that until recently were part of Cities of Sigmar. They are going to be converted to Old World, but I've ordered some converter trays so I can use, so I don't have to rebase them. I just have to have them in the trays. Do a little bit to jazz up the converter trays so they don't look a bit near. And then I've got a couple of units that do need completely rebasing, and then I'll have a playable army. I also have a stash of orcs from back in the day, and they are the ones that are currently out. So they're an option. But essentially, until I get an army ready, I won't be playing Old World, and I'll be playing some practice games to get. Because the thing is, with Fantasy Battle back in the day, I was really bad at it, and sufficiently bad as to probably not make a good, entertaining battle report. Because for whatever reason, and this is the reason I can't play chess. Obviously, I physically know how to play chess, but I can't play it because I can't think enough moves ahead, and I could never think enough turns ahead with the movement phase and things with Fantasy Battle. So there's every chance. I need some serious Old World practice before I can do anything entertaining. Should I do the green thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Moog from Blue Demon Brushworks.
Moog! Love Moog.
Member for 39 months. Any plans for Legions Imperialis? Horus Heresy, but smaller and yet also bigger. I wouldn't like to use the word plan. There is some intention. There is some intention there, because in the same as they did with a lot of the other YouTubers, GW sent me a load of their stuff. But for one reason or another, the videos I filmed ended up getting trashed. And it was when I wasn't in a great place mentally that it was all coming out. And so I reached out to GW, said, look, I really can't do anything with these at the moment because of this. And they were super nice and chill about it. And which was really cool. So I've got a bunch of Imperialis stuff. And yes, but not now. Not now. I've, over the last 10 months, having spent the previous 12 months saying I can't get into another system, I have started playing 3 new systems. The light's flashing.
Well, nobody's in.
The lights are on, but no one's at. Thanks.
It's true.
The lights are on, but no one's home. I'm tone deaf. That's why I don't sing.
This is true.
It really is.
It really is. Oh, home. Just back to. Just let me know when you're ready.
Sorry, I just got a bit of Robert Palmer.
Was it Robert Palmer or was it his ladies? Last Imperial says, and I don't know whether you want to answer this or you don't want to answer it, but your favourite Primarch, and why is it Conrad Kurz?
Conrad Kurz.
Kurz.
I do like Conrad Kurz. He's, when you hear, some maniacs are just maniacs. Some maniacs, when you talk to them, their twisted logic makes a scary amount of sense. And that's the Primarchs, I think, are all very well written for that reason. You can start to relate to their point of view, and you can at least see why they do what they do. I mean, Perturabo is a petulant child, but when he crafts a theatre for Fulgrim to perform in, and because he's never asked to create works of art, only to destroy buildings, and then when the Raven Guard defile it by attempting to kill Fulgrim whilst he's on stage, he goes into a massive rage, and he's bitterly petulant about the whole situation. Wow, we have a I think that's a super sticker. I don't think I've seen one of those before.
Oh,
Bojack has super stuck bravo. Well, I'm not quite sure what you're bravoing, but thank you. I thank you for the bravo, and the is that Czech currency? But very, very thank you. Go on, another question, Horus Heresy questions. That'll get me into the
okay then.
Juices.
So I have a question from Bojack. He says, every time I finish a list of points and it gets reduced, I need to buy another box or 2. I don't know anyone that does that. I don't know anyone that does that.
No, that's a 40k route. I don't. That specifically. I mean, I drive a very small kind of beat up car. I keep my costs very low, and my expenditure does go on plastic crack. But I don't have, when my lists shrink, I don't instantly rush out and buy another box. But it is true that GW's whole model has been and is about sales. It always has been, and I have personally absolutely no issue with that. If they didn't make sales, they wouldn't be there producing so much of this, awesome content. I don't necessarily always agree with their decisions and how they target their sales, but that's two different things. But they have always stimulated miniature sales with changes. Even back in the day, before they got super competitive at things, you could tell what stuff was going to be more powerful in the new edition because you just looked at what wasn't selling and what other people didn't have. It's like, yeah, you don't see any tanks anywhere. It's like, right, okay, tanks would be good in the next edition. And yep, people bring lots of tanks because they go out and buy models on tanks. And I dare say the sort of meta list, internet list culture is a big part of that. And that's one of the reasons I imagine they keep their that they keep doing it. It probably stimulates a super lot amounts of growth. I'm gonna have to try turning this off and on again because it's a colleague of mine at work used the expression "doing my fruit in," which I took to mean he found irritating, but for some reason it occasionally leaps into my mind now. So yeah.
Adrian Smart says he's been enjoying the Crusade rules, but it's a lot of bookkeeping. So he still maintains that you should have made Heresy the competitive game for inherent balance.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, the fact that, well, it's interesting. To a lot of perspectives, Heresy is inherently balanced because they are, if you ignore Mechanicum and Solar Auxilia, the armies are the same. A couple of tiny tweaks, but they are basically the same, which makes the game very balanced. I was having some conversation with Winters recently about various rules, and one of the things we were completely aligned on is that things were balanced. And we loved all the random stuff, the fact that things can blow up and take out all sorts of different things. And I was playing against his Mechanicum Tagmata, which it turns out everything blows up when you kill it. They've all got adamantic shielding, and they all go boom. The first time I stuffed a Power Fist in one, that was a shock. He said, I'd assumed their invulnerable saves had been on account of Bionics. He's like, no, it's adamantic shielding. And I'm like, oh, because I'd got really quite close. But that's not giving anything away. It really isn't.
Ready?
What was the last question you just asked?
The last question was about from Adrian about
the lists
yes,
and the boxes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, another one, please.
Okay, so now says if he got into Heresy, he would want lots of tanks, Terminators, and Dreadnoughts. What legion would you suggest for a future project? Now, I knew that the tanks, the Terminators, and Dreadnoughts because you've been doing tanks, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, you bought me one of my tanks for Christmas.
One,
yeah, Sakaran. It's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Any legion can do tanks, Terminators, and Dreadnoughts in huge quantities. Most of the legions are sort of topping out at 100,000 legionaries at the start of the Heresy. For me, legion choice is around what setting and what context I can play my games in, because I want to play games that were possible from a story point of view, because that's just how I'm wired. If that's not necessarily your thing, then any legion is an option, and I would always go with rule of cool. I mean, there are some that lean more towards that side of things, like Iron Hands and Iron Warriors, and there are some legions that don't do them quite so much. But for example, even the Raven Guard had an immense amount of tanks and Terminators and dreadnoughts. But if you read some of the blurb in the rulebook, they had loads of them, but left nearly all of it on Istvan 5. So if you want to play Raven Guard and you want to do a boatload of tanks, you totally can, because they had them. It wouldn't necessarily be chronologically accurate to play them in a game after Istvan 5, but even so, there are so many forces and material at their disposal. You know, a 5,000 point game is an absolute drop in the ocean. A 10,000 point game is a drop in the ocean compared to what they have. Even the ones that got utterly mauled, you could quite easily field an army that has all that armor together, and it still represents a fraction of what the army actually has. So there is a huge amount of flexibility in every single legion. So it comes down to rule of cool. Oh man!
We love Big Bad Peter.
Big Bad Peter Gaming has yet again gifted 10 memberships.
Oh.
Big thank you to Big Bad Peter. Yeah, really appreciate it, man. It's awesome, and I'm glad that you've done the gifting, not just necessarily. The nice thing with the gifting is it gives other people access to the Discord, which is cool. So anyone who's just picked up one of those gifted memberships, if you look in the membership chat section on YouTube, there's a link to our Discord in there. So go and sign yourselves up.
Is it lobster time then, or is it not?
Yeah.
I was just thinking. I mean, the lobsters haven't been out for a long time.
Let's go with some shoulder lobster today.
Shoulder?
Off the shoulder lobster.
Oh, right. Okay. Like for coolness.
Yeah. Bit of variety. It's
okay.
Heresy lobster.
Sexy lobster.
I don't find lobsters sexy.
Do you not?
Do you?
Oh, I like their eyes. Show them their eyes.
Oh. It's got eyes.
I was going to follow it by I like to eat them, but I thought best not.
What?
Nothing.
Is there another? Do you want to hit me with a question, or should I do some ramblage?
I can hit you. So the Lyrica, which I think is a really good name, the Lyrica. What's the biggest joy? What was the biggest joy of getting into a 30k game system, and how do you stop yourself from expanding and collecting all 18 legions, which is a problem that he has? Well, I'm thinking it's a guy. It might not be. The problem they have.
The biggest joy was coming back to a game that was basically 7th ed. It was like an old friend, like a pair of comfy slippers. So much of it already familiar. So much of it really so much of it just really easy and fun to play. Once I maintain that Heresy is less complicated than 40k. And that's because the complexity in 40k comes from having to know absolutely everything about every book you want to play with. Whereas in Heresy, as was true for 7th ed, you need to learn the core rule system once. And then when you know that core rule system, you can pick up any book and know what it does. There's a few things you have to swat up on, but pretty much beyond that, you know it and you can play it. And you can play it well. 40k, it's just so scattered about the place. And coming back to something that felt so familiar, and things like units running away.
Oh, look at them eyes. And gorgeous.
And blast templates, landing on a unit and obliterating them. because they all got hit with a massive ball of plasma. Yes, like, ding, I'm ready to get all of them dead on 2s yet. Yeah. They're all dead. All of them. Did their armor do anything? Yeah, melted. And then burn a lot. And that actually is a decent segue into one of the things I don't like about Heresy. Okay, we're going to be a little bit controversial here. I say controversial.
I'll get ready with a pencil.
Yeah. Yeah. Warm that pencil up.
Yeah, warm that pencil up.
What is wrong with you?
Nothing. You know, like when my dad used to use a pencil, he used to lick the end, and that's all I was gonna say to give it. Anyway, never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. Move on.
We will not mind, and we will only move. So Heresy is based on, roughly speaking, 7th ed 40k, and 7th ed 40k is a 40k's really had sort of four has really had 4 pretty different editions. Within those 4, they've just been variations on a theme. So 1 and 2 were their own thing. 3 was its own thing, but 4, 5, 6, and 7 were all variations on 3. They were building on the same core concept. So it's the allocation of wounds to models. In some of those systems, some of those variations, you had to allocate the wounds to the nearest model. Sort of makes sense. Nearest one to die. But also doesn't necessarily make sense because, you know, the guy with the missile launcher gets shot and killed. The guy next to him picks up the missile launcher and carries on. So you don't necessarily, you know, lose the weapon. You also get sort of hero moments where sort of like troopers barge their sergeant out of the way. And the way that they used to deal with that in some of the editions was for every, let's say we're talking about a squad of tactical space marines. So a sergeant, a flamer, a missile launcher, and seven guys. You used to have to allocate. The first variation that I was familiar with was in 4th, because I never actually played 3rd. And in 4th, once you'd taken 10 wounds, your opponent could say, I want you to make that model make a save. You remove the rest of them from what you like, but that model must make a save. And if you'd gone around again with another 10, so you've got 20, if you'd only been 5, it would have been for 5 wounds, or 10 wounds, 15 wounds, it'd be 1, 2, 3 saves you can make an individual model make. In, I want to say 5th ed, they changed that to when you get around to 10, every model has to make a save. So you would allocate them and you go, okay, tactical marine, flamer, missile launcher, sergeant, tactical marine. And so if you'd taken 20 shots, you had to take 14 saves on tac marines, 2 saves on a missile launcher, 2 saves on a flamer, and 2 saves on the sergeant. And that way there was a reasonable, moderate chance of hitting the special individual models. There's nothing in Heresy that determines where you allocate wounds. You can literally put them where you want, when you want. And that, the way I play narratively, I sort of scatter them amongst who I think is most likely to be hit, which can include sergeants, special weapons, and all sorts. What grinds my gears, as it were, to use someone's vernacular, is and I see this on YouTube so much, to give the sergeant in the unit a suit of artificer armor, and then take all the wounds on him that would otherwise kill the rest of the Marines.
This is just for Kev. This is for Kev. Kev, it's an orange today. It's fruit. Kev's just asking what sweets I've got. It's fruit today. I know it's boring, but I love an orange. So I've got some oranges.
It's not boring. It's got a very high glycemic index.
Yes.
So, and there are some. Big Bad Peter Gaming member for 24 months says, "You two rule. Nice to see you back." Oh well, thank you very much. It's very much appreciated.
Oh yeah, it is. Thank you. I've said we do love coming on and sort of chatting and just being a bit silly for an hour or so. So yeah, it is really nice, and it's nice to hear from everybody as well. And I'm really, really pleased to hear, Moog, that you also lick your pencil. Moog licks his pencil. It's a requirement. Who doesn't lick the pencil? See? It's not that stupid, is it?
Okay.
Yeah.
So just continuing on before it all leaves my head. If your guys are marching in a column between two buildings and it's all incoming fire and the sergeant's at the front, yeah, it makes perfect sense that a lot of the shots are going to hit the sergeant. Absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. When it's a missile barrage of rockets that surrounds the entire area, the idea that the sergeant then goes around and headbutts the 10 missiles that have targeted the rest of the unit, that doesn't work for me. And whenever I see that, I switch off. I'm like, it's wrong. It's really wrong. But,
What do you do again?
I just shrug and go, oh, well, live and let live.
Yes.
That's what I say outside to other people when I see it. It's not how I feel inside.
Moog said, we're talking about painting models.
Mm-hmm.
Moog said, could you paint up the models and use them as units in the distance when you're photographing your own stuff?
Maybe. This one is small. Those are far away. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Sorcerer Dave. Hi, Sorcerer Dave.
Hi, Sorcerer Dave.
Super chats. Member for 39 months. How can it already have been 39 months? I know. That was the thing.
You at 39 months, and I'm like, 39
wow. Yeah.
months.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, that's one of the things that. But if I had to pick one thing, it's that. But that's okay because I don't have to watch other people play on YouTube. I can just turn it off. I also don't play like that myself. And it's not like it's a rule that doesn't make any sense that's baked into the game mechanic. My big classic one in 40k is lasguns auto wounding on a roll to 6 to hit, which makes them statistically better than bolters, or at least it did towards the end of Ninth Ed. And without house ruling and stuff, you can't just get rid of that. You have to deliberately get rid of it rather than just say, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to take the shot. I'm going to take the hit on these 5 guys here, and they all come off. They're all dead because it's there. I can do that. Another thing that I'm not so sure on is some of the things they did with vehicles and dreadnoughts and cavalry, because things like skimmers, speeders count as cavalry. They have a toughness and a wound characteristic, because dreadnoughts count as that. They have toughness and a wound characteristic, which makes them disproportionately difficult to destroy, I feel. And with the with the with vehicles firing weapons, I feel that's a little bit hinky as well. I think it feels like they took Seventh Ed and thought, what do we add to it? They didn't necessarily stop and think, what should we change about it that's already there? So, for instance, vehicles firing weapons. So, if you move at half speed, you can fire all your weapons. Okay, that's fine. That's great. You fire them all at the same target. Some vehicles have. That's one of the things I like from 40k is the ability to say, actually, the vehicles are going to put their shots here, and this other gun's going to go there, and that gun's going to go there. And up until a week or two ago, I thought that there was no option with that. Buried deep in various cross-section-y bits of the rule book, I infer that if your weapon is defensive, you may choose to shoot the nearest infantry unit. Okay, so a weapon's defensive either if its strength is 6 or less, or if it's mounted on a pinnacle mount. So these ones can all choose to target the nearest unit or fire at the same target as everything else. Okay, but sponsons are also different, because if a sponsor doesn't have a target the way the vehicle's oriented, it can choose a different target, which can lead to a bit of janky, right, well, if I turn my tank to face this way, which it wouldn't do because it wouldn't be putting its front armor onto the enemy, I can do these weird shooty things. So it's almost like you can contrive to make all the guns target different units, but it's wrapped in this layer of complicated restrictions rather than just saying vehicle weapons can target whichever units they like. That to me is a little bit of unnecessary. The other thing that I'm not so keen on, this is 3 things really, and there's much more that I like than I don't like. Absolutely. And I can totally get over the things I don't like by turning off videos, watching people do that. Is I think units should be able to fall back out of combat. They have a mechanic in there for our weapons are useless. So if there is 0 chance of you hurting the enemy, the unit can fall back. Great. If there is like 0.01% chance of you being able to hurt the enemy, you got to stay there and just die. I feel the mechanic should be in there to be able to take a leadership test to voluntarily break. You have to test for sweeping advances. That's what I would do. I would say you can take a leadership test. If you pass it, you get to fall back, and the normal fallback applies. You test for sweeping, but you can have the scenario where withdraw your unit, incoming fire, and they attempt to disengage, and maybe they get break free, maybe they don't, but it feels like it bends the narrative out of shape to have like one guy still stood there, and that totally hold up their, because they could break and run away, but there's no reason for them to stay, and they can easily be ordered to pull back. So it's I would have something in there around that. But I love the reaction system. I think it's really, really good. I love the flexibility you can put into it with different warlord traits and different commanders and different rights of war that let you have access to additional reactions in certain phases. I love the fact that rights of war can make you let you build completely different armies. So you can get, right, well, I want this to be some kind of armored assault. And you don't have to go, right, well, okay, I've got to do 3 units of land raiders and put all the things in land raiders. They go, no. If you could take a rhino before, you can now take a land raider as dedicated transport. So I can put if you want to do the spearhead of Legion tanks assaulting an enemy line, you absolutely can. If you want to do all the elites going in first, all the serious serious good Legion people, the veterans, the Terminators, you absolutely can do that. Equally, you can do reconnaissance, you can do sort of hit and run. There's all sorts of different ways you can, and it's really nice the way it's a thin veneer that they layer on top of what is essentially the same army that makes them play in quite different ways, but still they have so much in common. Your opponent is already very familiar.
Sorry, I'm really sorry to interrupt, but I've just noticed on there Moog's going. It's gonna. Yeah, sorry, is going, and I just wanted to mention Paul Fest. Really sorry to interrupt your flow, but just before you go, Moog, and I don't know whether you're still here. Are you still here? If you're not, I can always send you a message. Are you replying, Moog, Mr. Moog? Oh no, I think he must have gone. I'll do it at the end then. It's fine. I was just going to mention Paul Fest. I've booked a date for Paul Fest. So we've ummed and ahed about it for a little while. It was going to be before Christmas, but we have booked a date for Paul Fest. Oh, and Bojack doesn't know what Paul Fest is. Show Bojack your blue lobster.
Hang on. The green lobster's covered in beard. It's got all fluffy. I'll find the blue one. Which the little blue one or the sequiny blue one?
The sequiny.
The sequiny blue one. Right, hang on. Shiny lobster.
While he's doing that. While he's doing like that, yeah, it is a bit of a get together for Say Hi Paul fans or anyone really that wants to come along, but it's generally fans who come along, and we meet up at tabletop events this year, and we all have, well, everybody has a game and you can play whatever you want, and it's just really great to all get together and see each other face to face. And it was started a couple of years ago by Mick the Machine started it, and I was going to arrange one before Christmas, but obviously lots of things happened and we didn't. And so I just wanted to let everybody know I am going to put something in the Discord, and I've just been in Discord and I've got lots and lots of messages, so apologies if I've not replied, but tomorrow is my Discord day. And I'm going to go in there and put all the information in there. And if anybody wants to come along for the day and join us, it's generally quite a really good day, to be fair. Everybody, there's lots of laughing and joking and fish and chips for lunch and all that kind of thing going on. But it is that you come in, the tables are already set up for you. So we just need to know in advance what you want to play and what kind of terrain you want. But the tables are set up already, aren't they? So are you yawning?
Have you seen what's going on in the chat?
Yeah, what is all that going on in the chat?
Yes, Tin Jones has gifted 50 memberships.
I could see them all coming up then as I were talking, but you carry on about Paul Fest. You tell everybody a bit more about Paul Fest.
I'll
write them down.
I'll try. But thank you.
Yeah, that's really, really good of you. That is so nice. And it just gets people, the chance to go into, to Discord and have a look. And so 50, I mean, that's just amazing. Thank you ever so much. How do you say it again?
Yestin.
Yestin. Thank you, Yestin. That's so kind. Thank you very much. You're sharing the love tonight, you guys really are sharing the love. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm going to put all details about Paul Fest on Discord so everybody can see them.
So ev- everyone who's just got a channel membership means you should be able to get access to our Discord. Let me just go and sorry, it is appropriate because people are all listening. Let me go and find.
What are you looking for?
I'm trying to. I want to make sure that the link to Discord is available for everyone to go and join.
Because obviously, the more people that we can get on Discord and people that want to join the channel, it's really good because Polfest will be even bigger. So it's really quite nice and really, really a lot of fun.
Okay, we've got a little bit of dead air.
What are you actually doing? Making sure they can get on?
Yeah.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah.
So what I generally do is in Discord, and whenever we're doing an event, if anybody doesn't know, I mean, there's some people on here that are kind of like old timers, in the Kev and Moog, soft wool. So I go on there and I open a new page in Discord, a new room kind of thing in Discord, and I put all the information on there. How will you get tickets? What happens? I have already, Polfest had to be cancelled last year, so I have actually already got some people's payments, and it's just sat in my PayPal account, just waiting for the next Polfest to be organised. So so that's what I will do in there, and I'll give you all PayPal details. It's not very expensive for the day, but it does mean you can play all day. And also, if you want to as well, if you've got anything you want to paint, you want to do anything like that, you can bring that as well. You can sit and paint, you can sit and put things together, anything that you want to do. I generally run around delivering cake and coffees and teas and juice to everybody, so you don't even have to leave your table. So that's what it's all about, but I'll put all the information into Discord for everybody to see.
Right. Right, I've just put a post in the community tab on the channel, and the visibility is for all members. So those of you who've just got channel memberships, if you look in the community tab, there's the first thing on there says link to join Discord. Then there's a link to any issues, drop a message in there, and that gives you a link to join the Discord server. So I wanted to make sure that was there, and that was a thing. So yes, you said about talking about Porfest. So from my perspective, so other than being the sort of the guest, the star guest, it's
wait a minute. Star guest.
Yep.
That's not true, is it, Kevin? That's not true. It's a giant thing. No, he's right. He really is the star guest. I just make notes on a pad. Seriously.
I was going back to the original Porfest, the original one. Where it was after one of the live streams, and it was Mick who turned around and said, do you mind if we do this? And do you mind if we call it Porfest? I said, hey, if you guys want to get together for a community day and you want to call it Porfest, absolutely, just do it. And that is fine with me. And so it's always been run by the group for the group, and it's a sort of a turn up, throw some dice with like-minded people, because as you can imagine, the vast majority of the people in our Discord are there because they like similar stuff that I produce. So there's something in common, and that was the sort of first. And I turned up and went around and chatted to everyone and took selfies and pictures and all that good stuff. And because you were going to be coming to the first one, I can't remember why you weren't able to last minute. I think you'd injured yourself, which doesn't narrow it down much. But in all the subsequent Paul Fests, Crimson has been just amazing with making cakes, teas, coffees, and everything. It's just kept us all massively looked after throughout the course of the day. So yeah. So
it's just a lot of fun, isn't it?
It is.
And everybody enjoys it, and everybody always says, oh, when's the next one? Because it literally is a day for you guys. It's just a day for you to all get together, meet each other. And if anybody wants to stay over, I'll put information on Discord about that. Because if you're coming a little bit of a way, you might decide you want to stay over. And again, generally speak to hotels in the vicinity to see if there's quite a few staying, we can get some sort of discount and all that. And I put all the maps on there as well for you to see where it is and everything. So yeah, and all we need to know in advance, obviously who wants to come, but all we need to know in advance is, do you know what you want to play? Because if you...
What game?
What game? Yeah. What game you want to play, and whether you want any specific terrain, I guess, for tabletop.
Yeah, so we just need to make sure that there are the right kind of tables there. Yeah, so if you're playing something fantasy-esque like Old World or AOS, we need to make sure they prepped fantasy tables. If you're doing sci-fi, prep sci-fi tables.
Because I just go along probably a couple of days before and say to the guys that run it all, we just need this amount of tables, etc. And this is what we need. The more people we can get to go, they've told us we can have the entire room. So the more people we can get to go, it will just be full of us. So that would be quite good. That would be quite fun. Obviously, if we get quite a few people wanting to come, tickets are relatively cheap. It's not an expensive day. So.
And you're going to put the details into the Discord, aren't you? Tomorrow.
That is my tomorrow job. And then we've got a Crimson Events email, which everything goes through just to make sure that everything's all organised. And I will put that on there as well. And PayPal details.
Crimson Events.
Crimson Events. Yeah, we had to do a specific business for the events because we've done a few. So.
Yeah. And you did an amazing job of sorting out the Crimson Conflux and the Crimson Ribbon and everything we needed to do there. Couldn't do it without you. But I understand.
That's for you all to decide. Okay. Any more questions? Because I can't see because I'm just writing these down.
I don't think so. I've not got Discord notifications covering the thing. I don't think there are questions. Oh, there was the one question that I think we got sidetracked in because you wanted to mention Porfest.
I did.
You were talking about
Gwen.
Sorry. And you were talking about Porfest. And now Moog's jumped into the moderator chat going, what's going on? All these people are joining. Is this on purpose? I should probably just tell him it's on purpose.
Just tell him after. The question that you got sidetracked from.
Yeah. It was about how I am not buying all the armies, because that was one of the things that I had originally said.
There's no room. There's no room at the end.
There's plenty of room. There is plenty of room. One of the reasons I'd originally said that I am not going to do Horus Heresy is because I'll start off with one army and then I'll get all of them. Well, I think I've worked out a way of at least mitigating that for the time being. And it's because part of that is on account of the fact that I like the armies to be very troop heavy. And you see, what I did in 40k over the previous couple of years is I said, right, well, I want to play all these legions, and I started an army for every one of the Chaos Legions, and I based the Word Bearers around demons, and the Iron Warriors around tanks, and the Night Lords around raptors, and so on and so on. And what that meant was I had about 2,500 points for that army in one style, and I could do basically one list with variations on a theme. And if I wanted to, and that wasn't necessarily a problem because I wasn't playing each army a lot, I would use them all and have I would use them all, play them in that particular style, but not end up having to do 1 minute. Come on, brain, you're meant to be on my side. And it wouldn't necessarily be a problem that I only had the one style of army, because you can talk around that with narrative. So I had my Night Lords as a good example. I made up a warband, I made up the characters, and that was the reason why, that all the claws were numbered, and the squads, the units, the claws were numbered. So I could sort of soak myself in that narrative. But in Heresy, that I don't think that's gonna, having just sort of like 2k of every legion, I don't think it's gonna work, because the legions are so big, so versatile, so able to adapt to any particular circumstance. That they can all do everything within reason, pretty much. And so what I've decided to do is, rather than have when I'm looking at getting lots and lots and lots of tanks, rather than looking at Iron Hands to do all the tanks and Blood Angels to do assault companies and Raven Guard to do recon companies and Imperial Fists to do breaches and so on, and have all sorts of different forces, but only really one way of playing each one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add all those things to I'm going to add rather than building those up as separate armies, I'm going to build them all up as Ultramarines. So I can do all sorts of different combined forces. I can do different narratives. And most importantly, I don't need to rebuy and repaint the core of the army 18 times. I may at some future point do a Traitor Legion, but it has to be one. I had, when I chose Ultramarines, I had considered doing Sons of Horus. One of the things that swayed me towards the Ultramarines is I love the scheme for the Sons of Horus, but I don't think I can see a quick way of doing it with the way I paint. And that's a big deal for me. And that's if I'm growing a large army, I don't want to be painting 100 Marines and them taking a very, very, very long time. So maybe, Iron Warriors is a possibility for that, because, spray them silver, a couple of hazard stripes, ink them in black, done. Maybe, but my intention is to focus on Ultramarines. That's how I'm doing it. Is every time I think I want a different flavor, I'm just going to do a different flavor of Ultramarines. Right, I am now going to go for an assault company. Okay, right, I need a Praetor with a jump pack. I need a command squad with a jump pack. I need veterans with a jump pack. I need assault marines. I want Sky Hunter units. I want Javelin squadrons. I want Proton. I want Land Speeder squadrons. And I'm like, yep, that's an assault company. Well, that's a list that represents an assault company. Equally, when I am doing like a recon company, I'll be like, all right, I want guys with shotguns, I want guys with sniper rifles, I want seekers, I want reconnaissance marines, I want outrider bikes, I want this, I want that, I want the other. Right, that's a company, or that's enough of a company to represent a company. And in some cases, I might be able to do, okay, the reconnaissance company's there, and the assault company's coming in, or breacher company goes in first, or whatever it might be. It'll give me all those options in that one force. And that's not an approach I've ever taken before, but it's working so far, touch wood. Of course, then the difficulty arises in things like, I want to get a few Space Wolves, because every Primarch had a pack of Space Wolves following them around, ready to off them just in case they looked sideways. So when I put Guilliman down, I want to put a few Space Wolves down. When I'm doing Imperium Secunda stuff, I might want a few Blood Angels. Not to have a Blood Angels army, but to be able to have some allies. Equally, I might want a few Mechanicum. Not to have a Mechanicum army, but to have some Mechanicum allies. I was given for my 40th birthday a professionally painted Sanguinius, which I didn't play Heresy at the time, OBS, but I'd love now to do a battle with Guilliman and Sanguinius at the same time. So I might expand out into other things. I can see lots and lots and lots of possibilities for ways to take the Ultramarines and games to do to be able to just carry on collecting and playing that one faction. And I can't see a huge amount of limits at the end of that. I could probably come up with a dozen different moderate-sized scenarios just off the top of my head now. And I'm all right with that. So, yeah, trying something different. I'm really enjoying painting them. As much as I've enjoyed painting my Bretonnians over the last week or so, a couple of weeks, I was like, oh, I want to paint more Ultramarines. So, yeah. Brain's empty.
Okay, so Sorcerer Dave says, I'm working on Sons of Horus at the moment and managed to figure out a very quick way of doing them. Can post more details in Discord if you're interested. Yes.
Absolutely, post them in Discord.
Please do. That'd be fabulous.
Thank you, Mr. Sorcerer Dave. However,
very kind.
I probably will still resist the urge to do anything with them in the near future, but other people might.
Other people might, yeah, absolutely. Just to be a little bit controversial, not controversial, because everybody's got their own opinion. We've got a message from Leon, I think it's Rollstone, who says that he says, hi Paul, how's Horus Heresy going? But he does prefer 40k, which is absolutely fair enough.
It absolutely is. Each to their own. Play your Warhammer your way.
Yeah, just not my way.
I still prefer...
Don't do any rules, me. So don't play it my way. Play it your way.
I still prefer 40k as a setting. I think it's a better setting. I love a lot of the factions. I don't like the game as it is at the moment. Or alluding back to what I said earlier, it's just too much effort for me to have fun with at the moment when I could be having loads of fun with other things. And I will think, I could do this and I could do that. And then I remember how much I have to try and bend things out of shape to do them. And I could now diverge off on a massive why I can't play this army, why I can't play that army, why this is a lot of effort, why that's a lot of effort. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let that go.
We do say the same thing all the time, don't we? So when you're doing something or I'm doing something and you think, I don't know what to do, we say, what do you feel like doing? Because then you do it. If you try and force yourself to do something you don't want to do, then it takes you twice as long and you don't want to do it. So do what you want to do. Follow your muse.
What she said.
That's what I say. Do what you want to do.
That's because you're a genius.
But just nothing illegal.
Nothing illegal.
Nothing illegal.
Nothing illegal.
No.
Very few things that are immoral. Illegal. They're immoral. Well,
it's just not anything that's not legal. Because if anybody's paid for Pole Fest, I really can't reimburse you if you're in prison.
Well, I mean, you can reimburse the PayPal account. But that doesn't mean they'll get credit on their canteen account.
Yes.
So I'm a bit, as you and the audience, I'm sure, have worked out, I'm a little bit flummoxed and bamboozled, and my brain's gone in all sorts of spirally weird directions. So, are there any questions left?
Yes, Softwall, as long as you don't get caught. That always makes me laugh. In my line of work, you've got to have a lot of DBS checks. And I always say, it doesn't necessarily mean you've not done anything wrong. It means you've not been caught doing anything wrong. So it means you're good at it, which is even more scary. So we've not got any more questions, but I do want to, as Yestin was so lovely and gifted the names, I just want to go through the names of the people that have taken him up, and also Bojack, isn't it? Up as well. No, Big Bad Peter. Big Bad Peter up as well. So yeah, I just wondered where you're from, Barack, because I know you've got to come on an aeroplane when you come over for Pole Fest. I'm only kidding. I just wondered, Bojack. Yeah, that's it. Bojack.
Czech Republic, I think you said.
Oh, Czech Republic. Wow. Right. Okay. That explains why you can't come over for the day. We understand. So membership chats. Are we doing this bit now or not? Sorry, I'm leaping in to do the wind up.
Were there any other questions?
I didn't realise it was 10 o'clock. No.
Then let's do the wind up. I think my brain is pretty much spent.
That's kind of what I thought, but
it's been a bit of a roller coaster. We need to get you some flashcards that you can hold up out of shot. Is your brain screwed?
Yeah, but we've done that before. So when I've wanted to give you a little message, I've wrote it on a piece of paper.
And I've not read it.
No, you have read it, but you've read it out to everybody. So when I've put just going for a wee, it reads out. Crimson's just going for a wee.
Right.
So I don't do that anymore. I learnt my lesson there.
Maybe if you write, do not read out loud.
No, you read that out as well.
Do I?
Yeah, do not read out loud.
I must be a proper dick to do that.
Just because you just read it out, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, don't want to bore everybody to bits, do I? Oh, come on, boss. Come on, boss, Bojack. Come on, boss. So membership chats. Who's used the membership chats this time? Sorcerer Dave, 39 months. Kev, 39 months. And Moog, 39 months, which is amazing. And also Bojack uses 24 months chat as well. And Paul was saying earlier on, just to remind people that might have only just come on, that we've hit 1 million views today. So we are really happy about that. And that was the membership chats. So Big Bad Peter, thank you. So I want to read these names out, because if they are anybody that you are in contact with, or you know anybody on this list, it might be a really good idea to send them a message and just let them know about Discord. And if anybody's having any difficulty, let us know. So the 10 Big Bad Peter ones were Brohan, and I'm sorry about pronunciation, by the way. I'm a Yorkshire lass, so that makes it even worse. So Gareth Richardson, Colonel 149, and it says Decock, but I'm just going to read that out. Yan Suhai, Lucy Juicer, Jeremy Blankensef, Ultramarines Captain Bran, which I think is cool, Greg, Anthony Dale, and Jamie Leeming. So if you do know any of those, and you know that they're sort of one of your mates or something, let them know where we are and what we do. Big Bad Peter Gaming used his 24 months chat as well. And yes, Din. So I know it's going to be lengthy. I'll do it as quick as I can. Isaac, but I mean, what I think is, yes, Din was so lovely to do it. I ought to read them out. Isaac Harris, OK Godnez, Gob Nobler. Be very careful how you say that. God Nobler. Kia Glenn, Liam Pittman, Legion 88, Rob Wilson, Mr. Hens P, Rick Jagger 13, Andrew Lawrence, Joshua Wright, Horus Skin, Devrick, Lonely Sandbar, Tom 1984, Mario Schmidt, Stuart Inns, Jacob Meadow, Flow in. I love that. Armand 362, Banshard Pest, Big D, Yekan Woodfloor, Barmy Costin, Zachary Allison, Stephen Winson, Danny Wood, Fury M5, Chris Hill, SSJ Daz, Jack Krieger, K13, K12 Frosty, nearly finished. P. Wright, J4, Jimmy, Second Born. That's Second Born? There must be another Second Born, which is a bit scary. Second Born. Lee Shaw, Ziggy, Joe PT, Richard Wong, Min Medus, and Jordan Alcock, Uncle Buck, Harold Lloyd, Adam Payne, Biggest Bilbo 4, Christian, which I think we know Christian McBee. I think he's been at Paul Fest before. Crab, Remus Seymour, Fred the Hive, and Nick Shipley. Also, Mr. Wright, Paul, I think it's Paul, isn't it? Mr. Wright, he took one of those as well, and I think we know him as well, don't we? He's been on before. So, yeah. So, thank you for that. And if I've missed anybody out, I'm really sorry.
And whilst you were reading that, Soft Wool put, have a good night, everybody. And Crimson, don't forget you're the real star here.
Oh, you see, Soft Wool, I love her. She's fabulous. Fabulous lady.
So I think, oh, did you have something else?
No. Just again about Paul Fest. So that's it.
That's going in the Discord.
From me.
Okie dokie. Well, big thank you to Crimson, without whom this would not be possible, because she steers me like a rudderless ship needs a rudder. And for the, the excellent admin, I'm saying you're effective. I'm saying you're very effective. So big thank you to Crimson. Big thank you to everyone who's a channel member or a Patreon for your ongoing support. It means a huge amount. It really does. And a big shout out to Yestin and Big Bad Peter Gaming for all the love this evening. It's incredibly generous of both of you. It's fantastic. And for those who've put up with my my divergent stuff.
The tugboat. Thank you, Kevin. That's like the tugboat.
The tugboat. I mean, no, we're not going there. We're not going there. And I think you've broken her. She's now doubled over in hysterics. What you can see there is the corner of an arm, just sort of
Oh, sorry, yeah, my
okay. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Take care, and we will see you in the next one. Say bye, Crimson.
Bye, Crimson.
Bye.